No woman has ever done that, and you will notice in the circle there is some height going on there. Number 12 in white, Jelena Mitrovic, 6'9", redshirt sophomore from Serbia, jumping against Kennedy Brown. Coach Lawson also would like to get Kennedy Brown some more touches.
Yeah, I felt like they had a lot of missed opportunities in the game against Connecticut, and Kara Lawson said we showed every single one of those missed pass opportunities, and she gets the touch right away.
Yeah, see, they go to Duke. They're smart. They got it to her right away.
They make adjustments,
and
yes.
Kennedy Smart listened to Coach Lawson, and they got it into her. There's the starting five. Shalexis Aaron coming off a terrific game. She had 17 against Iowa. Indu Yaney, the Arizona transfer, coming home to Oregon. She was a Portland native, to finish out her collegiate career. And the Duke starting five, the change we talked about, Balagoon in for Lee Volker. Cheyenne Day Wilson is a very dynamic sophomore from Canada who is a prolific scorer. There she is, number 30 in Duke blue, and she's not shy about putting up the threes. Hit a couple of early ones against UConn in their first game of the tournament. Beavers worked it around to Noelle Mannon, trying to get her involved early. She was held scoreless against Iowa. Jordan Oliver is one of 5 transfers on this Duke team. Coming over from Baylor. 8 newcomers on this Blue Devil squad.
Really still an opportunity to mesh all of these new players and new faces, and Kara Lawson talked about shot selection for her Blue Devil squad, but learning how to put each other in positions to be successful, learning what's the best shot on the floor, that's going to take some time.
And you saw Balagoon lost the ball and was able to recover and put it in for her first basket. Yaney got stuffed by Brown. Mannon thought about pulling the trigger.
And Kennedy Brown is a transfer from Oregon State, so this is a game where she's coming in and probably a little bit emotional. Started off the ball game knocking down a pull-up jump shot, so that's a good sign. And defensively, they're making her presence known.
And Brown played 2 seasons. As you take a look at our former colleague Kara Lawson, now in her 3rd season in charge of Duke. Kennedy Brown a couple of seasons in a redshirt year. Balagoon with the rebound. I thought it was interesting that Kara talked to her. You know, the elephant in the room. She addressed it. She knows she's coming back, and it's just human nature that she'd be a little bit amped up to come and play against her old team.
And I think that's important. It's important for Kennedy to know that Kara Lawson understands that, and that it's normal to be nervous. And then once the game starts, you just get into the flow of the game, and it's competition. And you certainly want to beat your old team.
And as soon as we talk about her, Kennedy Brown commits a foul, now heads over to the bench. 6'6" junior from Derby, Kansas. And now the pressure pays off, but gosh, Day Wilson was unable to get the ball in to the basket. Von Oelhoffen just enveloped by Duke blue. They kick it out. Aaron couldn't get it home. She hit 3 threes against Iowa to open up the tournament. Mitrovic, the quick double came, and that left Mannon open on the perimeter. Mitrovic calling for a foul, nothing called.
I think Mitrovic has to get a lot of touches. She's got to do a good job of getting low position. She's got the advantage inside. She doesn't have to shoot it every time, but she's got to get a touch every time down the floor.
Oregon State 0 for 8 from the floor. Now Taylor puts up the shot that just won't go in. Celeste Taylor missed 12 of her 14 shots and all 5 threes in their opener against UConn. Coach Lawson would like to some better shot selection from Taylor as Mitrovic takes a quick break. And here comes Reagan Beers, number 15 in white, one of the many good freshmen on this Oregon State squad.
And another player that needs to get some touches down low. She is incredibly efficient, averaging double figures for this team. She's got the advantage inside, really struggled against Monica Sonano in the Iowa matchup, and this is going to be a great opportunity for her to respond. How does she respond to that? Now again, she's playing a different, her physicality is different.
A lot of people struggle against Sonano, who was a fifth-year senior for Iowa, so good in the low block. Day Wilson getting it over to Mia Heidi, who was a transfer from Tulane. On Oldhoffen, couple of feet behind the line. Coach Scott Rueck says Von Oldhoffen is as talented as any player that he's coached, and he certainly had some great talent come through. Remember, they got to the Final Four back in 2016. There's another moving screen on Duke.
Duke foul, charge number 42, that's her first. Second team foul.
That is on Mia Heidi. And we're seeing a lot of substitutions for Duke. They do have a very deep team.
When you want to press the entire ball game like Duke does, you've got to play a lot of players. This is a smaller lineup, a quicker lineup that they can play 94 feet.
Duke came into this tournament 5-0 on the season. North Carolina A&T, Charleston Southern, Davidson, Texas A&M, and Toledo were the teams they played until they ran into the buzzsaw that is Connecticut. Oregon, gosh, 9 of 10, or have missed 9 of their 10 shots. There's Beers, the freshman.
And I like that little rub action. Starting in a horn set a little brush screen, get Beers off the move.
Oregon State with its second field goal of the game and leading at 5-4. Taylor finally gets one to go down. On Oldhoffen all the way to the basket and draws another foul.
Scott Rueck said they want to establish on the interior, and this is a great way to do it. Watch this little brush screen by Van Oldhoffen, gets Beers, passes on time, and easy to.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Nike. Just do it. Welcome back. Duke leading Oregon State by a single point. The Beavers, led by head coach Scott Rueck, and this is his roster by class. 5 freshmen, the number 3 ranked class coming in this season.
They lost 4 starters from a season ago, and Scott Rueck really excited about this team and the opportunity that they have to continue to grow. Said we're just getting better every single day, really learning how we do things, learning our language, learning to be organized, move efficiently, play well together. He didn't like their shot selection against Iowa, and he expects them to be better here today.
And get a good look at him. And Scott Rueck is an Oregon kid, and he was thrilled to be playing. He said, would love to have played it in Moda because that meant they'd be in the championship, but this building means a lot to him.
He was talking about being a boy and a ball kid in this building and really growing up in the Coliseum. He said his father, Marv, was here when the Blazers won their NBA championship. He watched Bill Bradley in the NCAA tournament here, and he's like, it's just nostalgically really cool for an Oregon kid to be able to coach in this gym.
On Oldhoffen, delivering at the free throw line. His sister Heidi also was a basketball player. Told us a story about the other building we played in, or they played in, Chiles Center on the campus of the University of Portland, where she missed a big shot that eventually was put in for a high school championship, and he realized he really wanted to be a women's basketball coach. Loves women's basketball. Heidi hits it for Duke, and they can put on the pressure.
Said his father was a coach, so obviously he's a coach's kid, grew up in the gym, has a great appreciation for what it takes.
Marat pops out for the three. Here's Taylor, doesn't have numbers, so she waits for some help. And then drives, good dish off with Beers looming. And another foul called on Duke. Pardon me, Oregon State. Melissa Barlow, Anthony Robinson, and Kenneth Nash, our officials this evening in Portland. Heidi from Austin, Texas. Grad transfer from Tulane. And her final year of eligibility with Duke. And Olhoffen draws contact and took steps. Third turnover for the Beavers. Neither team shooting the ball well, as you might expect by our low score. Taylor looking to get it inside. The shot over Beers is good by Heidi.
Well, you can tell the film study worked. They're really understanding where they're trying to get the ball, how they're getting it inside, making sure that they're giving their bigs a look.
Heidi scored the last 6 points for Duke and then gets a block. Quickly in transition, Duke likes to play with pace. That's off Heidi's foot, but she was able to get it. And now Vanessa DeJesus, number 2, backup point guard, finds a little space and hits it. 8-0 Duke run as they take a 14-7 lead. Inside, Beers doubled, able to get the shot off and was hacked by Heidi.
We're going to see execution. Kara Lawson talked to us about they wanted to make sure that they were looking at post-entry passes. And if you freeze it right here, look at, she's showing her numbers, making sure that she's showing both hands. Celeste Taylor knows when I see it, I've got to get it inside. And Kara Lawson said, we showed every missed pass into a post from our last ball game. We want to make sure there is an emphasis on getting a touch inside. It doesn't mean you have to shoot it, but put some pressure on the defense by making those entry passes.
She said, was it just Kennedy Brown alone? She thought that they missed her 20 times when they could have gotten the ball inside. And the Duke Blue Devils have taken that to heart. Balagoon back in.
Well, look, I mean, when you're playing against Connecticut, Connecticut rushes you. They take away your vision, they recover quickly, they're active, and sometimes you have to go back to the film, you have to go back to the basics. How can we slow down in these moments? How can we execute what we want and be poised in those situations?
It was quite a test for this Blue Devil team. As we mentioned, 8 newcomers. UConn with a come-from-behind win over Iowa today, holding Caitlin Clark in check in the second half. And Maisie Fudd went off. Shea Bolin, one of the freshmen who did not play against UConn, comes in and gets the bucket. Mitrovic and Beers now in the game at the same time. The big lineup for Oregon State, tapped out by Beers to keep the possession alive. Off balance shot by Manning.
But that's one of those passes right there. If that's a clean pass, then Olhoffen gets that shot in rhythm. It wasn't clean, and those are the things that Scott Rueck's talking about. We have to be sharp. We have to be efficient. We've got to be able to deliver shooters' passes.
Reagan Richardson, who is a transfer from Georgia, with the miss. Inside 50 seconds to go now in the first quarter. Third place game in the Phil Knight Legacy bracket. Von Oelhoffen has been quiet. Picked up her dribble. Beers had it taken away momentarily by DeJesus, but was able to regather and score.
Well, Celeste Taylor did her best down there, but the Beers, really good job of staying with the play.
Not much difference between the two clocks. DeJesus being hounded by Mannon. And you saw Mannon called for the foul. Scott Ruick disagreeing. So now the shot clock is off. 12 seconds left to go in the first quarter. DeJesus inside. And it's taken away by Beers. Reagan Beers forces the turnover, and the first quarter is in the books. Duke fell behind early, but leads 16-11 after one quarter. Welcome back. Duke got a nice tour of Nike World Headquarters in Beaverton, not far from Portland. Lots of things on that campus, including the Mike Krzyzewski Fitness Center. LeBron James has an innovation center named after him. And how about this? I bet that's nice. The Blazers practice facility. I think they went shopping at Nike.
I'm sure they probably did.
I think half of the city went shopping at Nike
I think
this
you're
weekend.
absolutely right.
The employee store is here, but just a great experience. The teams that came out here last Tuesday, 8 women's teams in Portland for the first time as part of the Phil Knight Invitational and Legacy brackets in this tournament. 16 men's teams. And we are putting it to bed here tonight with Oregon State and Duke. Oregon State's offense really struggling, just 11 points, and only Beers and Von Oelhoffen have scored.
Well, Alexis Aaron had 17 points against Iowa, shot it really well. Bendu Yaney had 9. They're going to have to get going. Duke is a team that likes to get into you on the defensive end. They play hard, they mix up their schemes, and balance on offense is key.
Beers and Von Oelhoffen a combined 3 for 6. The rest of their teammates 0 for 11 from the floor. Shot clock is winding down. They need a shot. They get it, and it worked. That might be a perfect possession, right? You hit a 3 with 1 second left on the shot clock. That was Ashlyn Jackson, one of the freshmen for Duke. Duke has 7 players that have scored, and that's what we just talked about. Just 2 players have hit a shot for the Beavers. We're going to get Beers for the offensive foul as Balagoon hit the floor. That is the first on Reagan.
Well, you've got Beers and Mitrovic playing together and really looking to, I think that was sold really well by Balagoon.
And the Emmy goes to Elizabeth Balagoon. But again, that's a veteran move. She is, we mentioned this is her third, not just her third school, but her third ACC school. Georgia Tech, Louisville, and now Duke. There's a steal for Yaney. Driving on to Jesus. And finally, somebody other than Beers or Von Oelhoffen has scored. That's Marat. Scored in double figures, all 4 games coming into this tournament. He's held to only 2 against Iowa. Mitrovic quickly gets it to Von Oelhoffen.
Well, you got to get it inside. Missed opportunity right there.
Mitrovic firing up to 3. Beers picks her up and gets fouled.
Reagan Beers is doing a good job of running in transition and establishing position. Got to be able to give her a touchdown low, but she does a good job of sticking with it, getting an offensive rebound. You see her just running in transition, beats everybody down the floor. Right now, you know that she's getting position. You got to give her a look inside. Missed her a couple of times, is able to stay in the lane for quite a long time. Get that offensive rebound.
She was camping a little bit, but her persistence paid off as she got the three-point play. It is a 6-0 Oregon State run, only down by 2. Beers now with 9. Mitrovic comes up with another rebound. Asking for it. Van Oelhoffen couldn't handle it cleanly. Oh, that was a tough shot. She was fouled by Jackson. It's the 24th annual ACC Big Ten Challenge coming your way. Thursday's doubleheader starts in Champaign. This is men's basketball with number 16 Illinois hosting Syracuse, 7:30 Eastern. Then it's UVA Michigan in Ann Arbor. Those matchups coming your way on ESPN and the ESPN app. Oelhoffen at the line. All Pac-12 performer last year, led this team in scoring. And coming off a 22-point game against Iowa, and she has tied things up. Haven't seen Day Wilson in a while. Back in the game now, number 30 for Duke. Shot clock into single digits. Day Wilson, tough look over Van Oelhoffen's extended arm. But Brown able to get the initial offensive rebound. Then Volker grabbed one.
Nice pass.
Volker to Brown.
The pocket pass. Anytime you drive that baseline, that pocket pass action is going to be there. So many players try to pass it either through or over the defender. You got to go under.
Gets Duke back on top by a pair. Baseline drive. That was Marta Peach with the miss.
Wrong outlet's open.
Peach was able to come up and get it. Peach, a freshman from Berlin. Her father was in town. We saw him the other day, making the trip.
See the timing of that pass, and that's what Scott Rueck's talking about. Understanding when and where is the ball going to get to. On the pass back on the on-ball screen, every time you've got to be ready to make that pass.
Now that's something that will come with time, with playing together?
I think it will. I think it's something that'll come with time. It'll come with understanding of the offense. When you play against different defensive teams, they force you to play a little bit faster with a little bit more pressure, but you always have to know backing in that on-ball screen situation.
6 turnovers now for Oregon State, trailing by 2 as we approach 5 minutes to go in the first half. Third place game in the Phil Knight Legacy bracket. Brown got an early Christmas gift. It went right into her hands and she put it back.
A lot of pounding the ball right now for Oregon State. It's not moving quickly. Everybody's dribbling, probably over dribbling. Ball is sticking a little bit.
And Alexis Aaron, coming off that great scoring game against Iowa, still getting shut out. That was only her first shot of the night. Veteran Yaney decides to take it in. This is her third school. Indiana to Arizona, now back home to Oregon. Brown bobbled up and then blocked by Mitrovic. That's a tough matchup. Mitrovic at 6'9".
Duke's offense is looking pretty good. Great job of sharing the basketball, making the extra pass. Kennedy Brown, couple of face-up jumpers.
Welcome back to Portland, the basketball center of the universe. All Thanksgiving weekend. We are at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Final women's game this weekend. Duke leading Oregon State 23-21. You see, West Virginia has just defeated Florida at the campus of University of Portland at the Chiles Center. Iowa State and UConn playing really not even across the street, just across the way here at the Moda Center. And there's another game at Chiles later tonight. If you want to go over there, Steph, and watch some more men's ball, Oregon State and Portland State.
On the East Coast, get a midnight snack, come back for more basketball.
And there you see it coming up around 11 Eastern. That's the top of the hour. Over on ESPNU. A couple of local teams, the Vikings of Portland State. Portland Pilots also in the draw. They're an exciting team to watch. What has been a great long weekend of basketball in Portland. Yaney lost it momentarily. They got to get a shot off. They do. They're out just a little bit too strong.
I just still think there's too much dribbling going on right now for Oregon State. You need to be able to move the ball side to side with the pass or be efficient with those attacks off the bounce.
Both teams a work in progress. A lot of new faces this season. Richardson with the miss. Mitrovic able to gather. And another whistle away from the action. Reagan Richardson just picked up her first. Nona Mitrovic in her first year, her second year, pardon me, at Oregon State. Redshirted her first year, made 4 starts last year. Now a mainstay in the starting lineup. Volker dribbles right through the lane. Day Wilson has yet to score in this game for Duke.
And Pam, Cheyenne Day Wilson in the last matchup against UConn really pressed a lot. So took some bad shots, some contested shots as Reagan Richardson gets an easy 2 there. I think she's got to find her way within the system, playing with some new players. Certainly is explosive on the offensive end of the floor, but has to find a way to let that come to her.
Led the team in scoring last year. Has a goal of playing in the 2024 Olympics with the Canadian national team. And Carol Lawson's long-range plan is to develop her into that sort of a player, but still some things to work on, especially as you mentioned with all these new pieces around her. 5'6" sophomore from Toronto. 17 points, including 3 threes, and led the team in rebounding in the first game here against UConn, but a much tougher go tonight. She is 0 for 4 from the floor. Kennedy Brown just picked up her second. And heads to the bench. Right into the teeth of the defense. Mitrovic.
And that's really good recognition. Duke is small on the interior, find a way to get some touches. It doesn't have to necessarily be first pass in offense, and Volker gets to the rim.
Yeah, Volker had been starting coming off the bench tonight, and then the steal by Taylor, who is fouled.
Well, it's really hard to have help side when the ball's in the middle of the floor, and really good execution right here. Gets it to the top of the key. Great high-low feed and strong finish by Mitrovic.
Yanni picking up her first foul. Talking about national teams, Mitrovic has played on national teams in her native Serbia. Her brother Luka is a professional player as well. A lot more being asked of her this season. Celeste Taylor, second year playing for the Blue Devils.
Duke's really responded, particularly on the defensive end of the floor. Kara Lawson talked about in that fourth quarter against Connecticut. She felt like, no, they just didn't really play that hard. It's the first time she's been disappointed in how they've played or practiced, and they've responded. They're locking down, active on the defensive end of the floor. I mean, look, neither team is lighting it up from the scoreboard right now, but the energy from Duke has been much different than we saw the other night.
Yep. And Duke is shooting 28%, Oregon State 40%. Hence the low scoring. Here's Yanni heading to the line. Fouled by Dave Wilson.
All right, players, straight in one.
Jesus running the point. Former starter now coming off the bench for Duke. Taylor knocks one down.
Great execution.
Yeah.
Great execution. Knew exactly what they wanted, where they wanted the ball, and Celeste Taylor finally got an open look.
Now shot clock is off. And a foul on Beers for a moving screen. Taylor drew it.
Well, Oregon State likes to run this screen-the-screener action right here. And, you know, I guess she didn't give her enough time. You got to give her a space to react. But you can see Celeste Taylor turns her head. She sees the screen coming. I just always think that's a really tough call on a big in those situations.
So another chance for Duke to score before the end of the half. Rolling with the miss. And Duke takes a 31-24 lead into the locker room. And as has been the usual for Duke, their bench doing a lot of the scoring in this game. They lead it 31-24. Oregon shooting just 28% from the floor. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. It's the best place to get everything you need for the holidays.
Yeah, and if you're Scott Rueck, you've really got to talk about your ball movement. I felt like the ball got stuck or they were over-dribbling. It wasn't crisp. It wasn't sharp. And really getting multiple touches, forcing Duke to defend multiple ball reversals is going to be key.
And the shot clock did not start ticking, still stuck at 30. Now they get it down to 26 seconds. Melissa Barlow, Anthony Robinson, and Kenneth Nash are officials tonight in Portland. The final women's game here. There's still some men's action going on in the other two venues that have been used in Portland. Dave Wilson, usually the mainstay for this team offensively, with another miss. She is scoreless in this game. And Olhoffen with the basketball. One of the players that Scott Rueck is so excited about as this season wears on. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Oh boy, and a touch foul out on the perimeter.
Yeah, that's a tough call for Jay Wilson right there. You know, Oregon State, Pam, they've got to find a secondary or a third scorer, excuse me. They got to find somebody else besides Beers and Van Olhoffen. And Shalexis Aaron, to me, is the one. She had 17 points against Iowa. You know, she averaged a year ago at Texas Southern double digits. She has the ability to knock down shots. I think she has to hunt more shots.
She hunted that one, but now she's 0 for 3 from the floor. Played 9 minutes in the first half and was scoreless. Celeste Taylor showing some good things after a tough game against UConn. Vanessa De Jesus has checked into the game, replacing Day Wilson at the point. Day Wilson on the bench with 3 fouls. Mannon finding just a little bit of space, creating it rather, and is able to put it home. Mannon's a great story. Walked onto this team for her first 2 years, got a scholarship before last season, and now she's starting. That's quite a story for number 4 for the Oregon State Beavers, a kid from North Plains, Oregon. There she is. Ball out of bounds, stays with the Beavers. Did you ever have anybody around you that was a walk-on and ended up starting that you can recall, either on your team or that you coached? No?
Not that I can recall. It seems like that's happening in college football a lot now, right?
Right.
I mean, a lot of guys that were walk-ons that are starting that are going to be playing on Sundays soon.
Yeah, it's you know, you think about it, they're so young when they come in, and some of these 5-star recruits don't pan out, and then you have the Mannons of the world who go from walk-on to starter, which is always great. Just work, get your work in, right? Work hard.
Absolutely. Work hard, get better. You know, what do you do to separate yourself? Every day you step on the floor, you have an opportunity. Are you going to take advantage of that opportunity, or are you not? Because coaches are evaluating. They're not evaluating the time. They're not evaluating the score. They're evaluating your production and how hard you play and what kind of a teammate you are every day in practice and in the game.
Yaney with the miss, and now Duke on the run. Taylor, nice. It's a good case for the Blue Devils.
Good pace and good for Celeste Taylor. You know, really struggled against UConn, but she also had the defensive match of Azzi Fudd. And so when you have to really lock in defensively like you have to do, sometimes that affects your offense, but she's found it here tonight.
Yep, Oregon State takes the timeout as the lead has grown to 9. Celeste Taylor with 10 points.
Well, this is just a great job in transition of attacking the paint, finishing with the offhand.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. It's the best place to get everything you need for the holidays. Oregon, gorgeous. Out here on the west coast of the United States, there are caves with sea lions.
Beautiful.
Adorable.
Beautiful.
Women's Basketball Hall of Fame has welcomed in 5 new members. Congratulations to all of these folks on the screen. Carolyn Peck, our colleague, your former national championship winning coach, going in. Lindsay Whalen after going into Springfield there as well. Kathy Boswell, Donna Lopiano, Lisa Mattingly, all well-deserved.
All well-deserved. And of course, you think about Lindsay Whalen and all that she's accomplished. And Lisa Mattingly was a long-time official in our game. And certainly congratulations to all of the new inductees.
Did she ever call a technical on you as a player or a coach?
Do you think I would get a technical foul,
I think it's possible. I mean,
I'm not sure is the answer to that. I do know I only got one technical as a player, and that was as a pro, and that was June Courteau.
Oh, okay.
I remember that one. Now as a
Okay.
coach, okay, forget about those.
Yeah, that's a long time ago, too. No, Duke continuing to use its bench. Ashlyn Jackson, the freshman, one of the 3 true freshmen on this ball club, checking in. Beers, here she is. It's not missed from the floor, number 15 in white. Coming in off the bench for Mitrovic. Mannon has to throw it up, and it goes in. Shot clock winding down.
Well, Mannon's given this team a lift on the defensive end. She's been really active and a couple of good buckets. And you see the change for Oregon State going to the 2-3 zone. And Duke just has so many actions offensively that they run and can run, and given a change with the 2-3, potentially stop some of that action or limit some of that action. And you see Noelle Mannon, the hook shot, just get it up there, give it a chance.
Yeah, Mannon's a really good athlete. In high school, she was All-State as a soccer goalkeeper, All-League in softball, 5th in the state in the javelin, and plays basketball, too.
Plays basketball.
Love those all-around athletes.
Absolutely.
They're disappearing, unfortunately.
That is true.
Now that was an extra step or two. Or Balagoon. Played in the Olympics for Nigeria last year in Tokyo. That's a very sloppy pass. Oregon State is lucky that wasn't picked off. Mannon able to advance it. Yaney, another chancy pass. 6 straight turnovers now for the Beavers. Head coach, you just said what? Timeout. Welcome back to beautiful Portland, Oregon. Yep, it's Vancouver, Washington that is that close, not British Columbia, just over the Columbia River. And Celeste Taylor, Coach Lawson wanted her to take better shots. It's working out.
Yeah, she's getting them, and it's a good sign for Duke. Celeste Taylor has to be a go-to offensive threat. She's gotten into her sweet spot, which is the mid-range game. She's done a good job of attacking in transition. And by the way, most of the time, she is always going to check the opponent's best player, so she's getting it done on D as well.
Yeah, very valuable. Celeste Taylor scored the last 4 points of the half for Duke, and the first 4 points of the second half for Duke. And she is very efficient this evening. From the floor after a very tough shooting day, as you mentioned, against UConn. And yeah, she also had to guard AZ Fudd, which I would only wish on my worst enemy. That's a charge drawn by Mannon. Second one on Volker. Oregon State really struggling, trying to hold on to the basketball. Neither team shooting the ball well from distance tonight either. Mannon tried to dish it off to Beers, but it went out of bounds. Well, Beers maybe thought Mannon was going to shoot it. And Jordan Oliver looks over to get the play call. Kennedy Brown getting the start tonight for Duke. They make a concerted effort to get her more touches inside. She sends it back out. Ball on the floor. And Olhoffen came away with it and had to keep the dribble going as she stood up.
Well, Kennedy Brown got quite a few touches early in the ball game and hasn't since. And a lot of those were face-ups. They were about those 10 to 12-foot jumpers as well. You see getting it inside. I think she's looking to pass it back out. But she's a player who's very capable of making those back-to-the-basket post moves.
Volker just called for her third. Good look at Scott Ruick. Did a great job at Oregon State. Missed the NCAA tournament last year. And Olhoffen just off the back iron. Now Duke looks to push it with Oliver. Now over to the aforementioned Kennedy Brown. Brown, the former Oregon State Beaver, facing her old school for the first time.
Oh, nice pass.
Beers got it into Lily Hansford. True freshman couldn't finish. And Duke turns it over.
Okay, Reagan Beers, bringing the ball down the floor. Attacking the, I love it. I love it, look. This defense, this pressure defense, it's to pick your poison, and you want Beers to bring the ball off the floor and initiate offense, but somebody has to step up and stop the ball in that situation.
Balagoon rims out, finishes, or tried to finish on the follow. Mannon has Marat to her left, and then it's swatted out of bounds by Oliver.
Well, this press is designed right here to force Beers to bring the ball up the floor. They're not letting either perimeter player get it, and nobody comes up to check her. Kennedy Brown does right there at the free throw line. By that time, it's too late. Beers just does an outstanding job of getting the two, and that wasn't an easy two.
Beers, Scott Ruick talks about how athletic she is, has really great feet. Still getting used to the necessities of being a collegiate athlete. Balagoon called for the foul. And Reagan Beers, a top 10 recruit. AJ Marat now stepping to the free throw line.
What do you suppose Scott Ruick is talking about over there? It looks like he's having a casual, just Sunday evening conversation.
Yeah. Well, the foul call there was in his favor.
It was.
So not that play. Does it help to have little conversations with the officials, or does it matter?
I don't know.
Depend on the official.
I don't know that it really matters.
Beers stopped Jackson in her tracks. Now a Duke turnover. Marat, great hustle by Celeste Taylor to get it back. Frantic action, Oliver, blocked by Beers, Balagoon.
That was just a terrific extra effort by multiple Blue Devils on the floor. Just when you think Oregon State has an open layup, getting a hand on it, hustle plays, offensive rebounds.
And they forced another turnover. That's got to warm your heart when you see this kind of hustle.
No, it sure does. And like Kara Lawson said, this is a group that plays hard. You know, they compete. They're getting better every single day. Great move early in transition by Oliver, and then Balagoon just sticking with the play.
Low-scoring game as we approach the end of the third quarter. Jackson short on that shot, but another opportunity. Blue Devils looking to go 6-1 to start off the season. Balagoon. Now Beers can bring it up again. on Olhoffen. Just 7 points on the night. She's missed 5 of her 6 shots. Not what we're used to seeing from her.
And she looks a little fatigued to me. You know, she had a battle and carry a load against Iowa and looks a little fatigued here tonight.
And the foul on the other end of the floor will result in free throws for Mannon. Duke, the deeper of these two teams, as Mannon heads to the free throw line. Jackson called for her second foul.
Well, and Vanna Olhoffen has to work really hard to get all of her shots. I mean, she is always drawing the opponent's best defender, at times multiple defenders.
Men's basketball, the 24th annual ACC Big Ten Challenge continues Wednesday. Number 8 Duke hosts Ohio State at Cameron Indoor at 7:15 Eastern. Then number 1 North Carolina, have a feeling they won't be number 1 when this is played, take on Indiana in Bloomington. Both Sonic blockbusters on ESPN and the app. Carolina with a couple of losses here this weekend. And they lost to Alabama in 4 overtimes.
4 overtimes.
In this building earlier today.
And we've got a Big Ten ACC Challenge matchup on Thursday. NC State at Iowa. Looking forward to that.
We'll see how Iowa responds to their loss to UConn tonight. Always fun to see Caitlin Clark, Monica Sonano, and a lot of new faces or new components now for NC State. They lost so much from last year's team, just 1 starter back. And we will be in Iowa City, where they have sold 8,000 season tickets.
I love it. I love it. The Caitlin Clark effect.
Celeste Taylor having herself a night. Good shot selection. She's got a dozen. Coming off a game in which she missed 12 of 14 shots. And the loss to UConn on Olhoffen.
That's a great move right there. Didn't have anywhere to go. Patient poise, goes to the other side to finish.
So the Duke Blue Devils holding on, up 41-35 as we head into the 4th quarter in Portland. Men right now next door at the Moda Center.
They've got some good seats.
They do. Well, I think they know some.
Yeah, they may know. They may know a couple people.
They know some folks. So we're capping off what has been a great 4-day weekend of basketball in Portland. Pam Ward along with Stephanie White. And boy, kudos to our crews that have been working almost non-stop for the last several days in Portland. 16 men's teams, 8 women's teams. Harris Fibashoff, our producer. We got Johnny Hanna tonight. We had Praven Martin earlier as our director, and all the support people. Great job. And they're working in a chilly building tonight. A little cold in here and stuff.
It is very cold.
Yes, this is used as a hockey arena, and it feels like it right now. But it's been great pulling off this tournament. Reagan Beers with the rare miss. Cheyenne Day Wilson, number 30 in for Duke, gets it over to Taylor. Cheyenne is scoreless today for Duke, has been saddled with some foul trouble, had 17 points in the loss to UConn. Leading scorer last year coming into this game. Struggling offensively early on in this season, but we have yet to see her get on the scoreboard tonight.
She had 17 against UConn, but down the stretch, you know, pressed a little bit, and that was one of those things. Again, Kara Lawson didn't like the shot selection for anyone on her ball club, but she is certainly somebody who can heat up in a hurry.
And had some great games last year as a freshman. In fact, was the ACC Freshman of the Year. Was voted on by the coaches in the league. And by the way, you can't vote for your own player, so. There she is. Neither team shooting the lights out in this game. Hey, Wilson. See, she would have pulled that
Yes.
probably in the first quarter. A little gun shy. There you go. Gets a better shot.
Yeah, that's good ball movement. Again, the ball finally gets a ball reversal side to side, crosses that midline, and Celeste Taylor right on the money, getting that high post pass to Heidi. And that's what you have to do to beat the zone. You have to attack that high post, penetrating passes, penetration off the bounce, and Bindu Yaney knocks down a jumper.
Bindu Yaney now with 5 points on the night. Played her high school ball at St. Mary's here in the Portland area. Long rebound that can't be saved.
Well, the change for Oregon State has really slowed down Duke. I mean, Duke's man-to-man offensive sets has a lot of movement, a lot of action, split cuts, handoffs, all of those things. And going to the zone has slowed down that movement and forced Duke to take a lot of jump shots.
And there you see the offensive struggles we had talked about, particularly from distance. Just 3 for 25 combined.
And neither one of these teams shoot the ball from three particularly well in the season. Oregon State at just under 26% and Duke just over 22%.
And that's a three-pointer for Celeste Taylor. As you see, over her season average with 15. In fact, that is now a new season high for her. Hit the 14-point mark a couple of times this season. And Alexis Aaron continues to be a non-factor on offense, scoreless. After lighting up Iowa for 17 earlier in the tournament. Mitrovic, she only has 2 points tonight. 6'9" center. And here goes Taylor on Olhoffen with the challenge and the foul. The film session and the practice session was for Duke after the loss to UConn. Celeste Taylor certainly has responded very well.
And that's what you want to see. You want to see a response. I think overall this Duke team has responded well, their energy and activity. And this is a team that's relying on their defense, that their defense is certainly further ahead of their offense. A lot of new pieces. But their activity level, their ability to turn teams over, and Scott Rueck was concerned about that, their pressure. He said, we have to be able to handle their pressure. We've got to be able to take care of the basketball. And not just take care of the basketball, but get shots in rhythm shots in the quarter court, and they have not been able to do that.
Nope. Points off turnovers. Now 18 for Duke in this game. Cause for concern if you're Oregon State. This is we've seen their offense sputter around a bit.
I think you have to expect a little bit of this, particularly when you're playing really good defensive teams. A lot of new pieces, trying to figure out who is your go-to. Certainly, you know, Talia Van Olhoffen is a scorer, and Reagan Beers is a scorer, but who's your playmaker? Who's getting them the ball? Who's making plays? Who's getting people in the ball in the position to be successful? Who's making sure you're organized on offense, making sure that the ball is still flowing? No, I think that's the journey for this team. Who is that person? Certainly going to be a better team in February than they are now. But at the same time, having that floor leader is key.
Taylor. 2 more points off turnovers. Yeah, it's tough to be an elite team without an elite point guard.
It is.
Coach Rueck told us earlier this week how excited he is about this group. And he thinks, especially as the freshmen start to gel, that they're going to be special. Mitrovic bodied up by Brown, able to get the shot off. couldn't finish.
Well, that's one area of growth for Mitrovic as she continues to get better in this system. She's got to get stronger. She's got to be able to finish those inside, and upper body strength, lower body strength, being able to play in a stance, in a position, low position. You know, low man always wins, and if you're upright, you're going to get moved off your block easy.
Even if you're 6'9", here's Mannon with some punch. 10-point advantage with just over 5 minutes left to go in Portland. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dollar General. Save time, save money every day. Welcome back to Portland. These are notable women's games just coming up this week. #1 South Carolina taking on UCLA on Tuesday. And then you see the rest of the lineup. Again, Thursday we'll be in Iowa City for NC State and Iowa. UConn trying for its 4th win already against a top 10 team.
Well, certainly South Carolina had a little bit of cause for concern of Leah Boston going down with an injury today. And you look at that Notre Dame UConn, those battles with those two teams have been epic, and I am certainly looking forward to that one as well.
Leah Boston turned her ankle, had her foot in a boot to finish up their game today. This is our final game from Portland on this long Thanksgiving Day weekend. Anna Ward and Stephanie White joining you. Under 5 minutes to go. Duke trying to come back from its loss to UConn. Taking on Oregon State, which dropped its first game of the season to Iowa the other day.
Well, both of these teams and both these programs and coaches knew that they hadn't been battle tested yet, not in a way that they were going to be here in this tournament. And what a great opportunity that they have to expose themselves, to find out what they need to get better at, fine-tune things as you head later into non-conference and into conference play.
Duke's going to get on a charter, go home tonight. Oregon State gets on the bus, about an hour-and-a-half trip home. Mitrovic from outside. He just has 2 points on the night. Does have 10 rebounds. Came in averaging 8.5 points per game, just under 9 rebounds heading into this weekend.
Well, she has to be a presence inside. Yeah. She's got to be somebody that you can give her the ball, and she's going to be able to go to work.
Looks like she's more comfortable out there on the perimeter. Brown turns, nobody underneath for Duke. Gotten some good minutes tonight. And Olhoffen wants to post up Day Wilson and then kicks it out. Marta Peach with the miss. Day Wilson finally gets her first points of the night. Just her first 7 shots before that one went in. Mitrovic couldn't hang on. Taylor off to the races. Brown a little bit too strong off the glass with Mitrovic hanging on. Duke has 3, getting ready to check back in, and you wonder now as we go inside 3 minutes, Oregon State's got to be more fatigued. Duke with a deeper bench.
And that was a fatigue finish right there with Van Olhoffen. You could just tell.
Elizabeth Balagoon with the 3. Got the start tonight. Soil Stadium, 8 Eastern on ESPN, Deportes in the app. Monday Night Countdown kicks off our coverage at 6 Eastern time. Inside a minute left to go now in this third place game in the Phil Knight Legacy Bracket. Count it for the freshman from Berlin, Germany. And if you want more basketball, we've got more basketball as it approaches midnight on the East Coast. Chiles Center, you see Portland State leading Oregon State. Men's basketball also here in this complex at the Moda Center, which is where the Blazers play in the NBA. UConn with a 10-point lead over Iowa State. Oliver still battling for the rebound, and she will be called for the foul. Oregon State about to fall to 4-2 on the season after starting off 4-0. Duke will go to 6-1. Lily Hansford, part of that heralded freshman class. A lefty with a headband playing at Oregon State. Does that maybe bring someone else to mind?
It absolutely does, and even shoots it very similarly to Sydney Weiss.
He's one of the great players who was on that Final Four squad in 2016. Quite a character, too.
Well, it's really incredible what Scott Rueck has done with this program, and continues to elevate Oregon State women's basketball.
The Duke Blue Devils going to come away with the victory and finish in third place, taking it by the final of 54-41, holding Oregon State to just 6 points in that fourth quarter. 26% from the floor for the Beavers. They missed 17 of their 19 threes. They have work to do on offense. Our work is done. Duke with the win. For Stephanie White and our entire crew, I'm Pam Ward as we say so long for Portland.